episode 87, part 2 of Africa's premier sports video podcast, the Three Quarters Podcast. As usual, remember to jump onto the hashtag Road to Japan to support the Kenya Simbas as they are still looking to qualify for the Rugby World Cup in 2019 in Japan. I'm Denima Duffield.
And I'm Nara Kamuya.
So Kenyan rugby history. We moved to Nakuru.
Again.
Where we look at Menengai High School.
Yes.
Who I'd imagine are pretty good feeder school for Menengai Oilers, one, yes. And for Nakuru.
And for Nakuru eventually, yeah. So it's a secondary school, began in the 40s, but secondary classes began in 1951. The school had operated as a primary school for the Asian community in Nakuru since about 1948. So after independence, it became an indigenous school, and it also became a fully fledged high school. So it's one of the powerhouses from Rift Valley province, or the former Rift Valley province. Them together with Nakuru High School. Yes, the ones who've been dominating that scene over the years. They were the 2017 National Sevens champions. And if I'm not wrong, they actually were the ones who played Upper Hill in the finals in this year's 15th tournament.
Yeah.
So over the last few years, they've become a powerhouse. We don't really see much of Nakuru High School from Rift Valley. So many guys to watch out for. So that's our school for this week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then we move on to the National Sevens Circuit this year. So even though there's been money coming from like Stanbic, it was I think 9 million.
Yes.
1 million going to each of the host clubs.
Yes.
And then the rest going to the union to put their administrative costs.
Yes.
But even with that, we're still seeing a low attendance this year.
Yeah.
So just to catch people up, we've already had Prince Louis Sevens in Nakuru. We've had Sepetuka in Eldoret. We've had the Kababerry Sevens, which was in Machakos this year.
Yeah.
And we had Driftwood Sevens in Mombasa, obviously.
Yes.
So just to go through the table, we have Homeboys at the top, Mwamba, KCB, Nakuru, Kabras, Harlequins, that's top 6.
Yeah.
Bottom 6 would be Nondis, Impala, Oilers, Machine, Kisii, and Black Blood. So that's, just to catch people up.
Yeah.
Now, why do you think we're not seeing as many people going? I feel like, for me, honestly, it's just not, it's not really... It's not. You don't want to go anymore. It's not really as hyped up as it used to be. At some point you'd be like, no, I have to go. You know, you do whatever you need to do. You get days off work just so you could go for the circuit. But now it's like, okay. You went.
Yes.
You don't really feel that hype. So what do you think went wrong this year?
It's just what you say. Like you don't feel like. There's nothing attractive about it. You think about a few years back, you'd be going to Nakuru for Prince Lou. You'd be pangling to go for Driftwood Sevens. You'll be in Eldoret for Sepetuka. But you're not feeling that this year. There's no hype around the Seven Circuit. I feel it's more to do with the tournament organizers. The one that I feel might have had a bit of hype was the Kababerry Sevens that was happening in Machakos. But even that, they didn't push it out maximum. And there's somebody I was asking today, I was like, can you tell that there's actually rugby happening?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, I can't tell that there's rugby happening. And that's what I realized. Save for the rugby community.
Yeah, no one knows.
No one outside there knows that there's local rugby happening. And even for the rugby community itself, there's no hype whatsoever to attend these games. I don't think it's the delegation in terms of the talent. I think the talent is still there.
No, it's still there.
Homeboys is fielding good guys. Mwamba, Colin Sinjera has been featuring for Mwamba for a while. Nelson Oyo. The Sevens guys have been featuring in this
and those are like the most exciting matches to watch because you want to see where they are based on where everyone else is.
Exactly. So when the organization part is not handled, then it's just this mentality of waiting to be given everything, not going outside there to source for sponsors. So if you're given $1 million shillings to work with for the tournament organizers, I'm not saying that that's what happened, but I'm just saying what happens in Kenya usually is that you'll find some guys have actually sliced the budget a bit for their own game. Yeah. I'm not saying that's what has happened, but if you're given $1 million shillings to organize a 2-day tournament, what's the possibility that you're going to come up with a good tournament? It's close to nil. So these guys are not going outside there to source for sponsors. Telcom just came on board. Then what? Then what? So $1 million shillings to organize a 2-day tournament, that's not enough. And that's the most unfortunate thing we have here is that people just wait for them to be given money. You don't go outside there to source for sponsors. I would expect, fine, call it the Stanbic Sevens. No one cares, but look for other small sponsors to fill in the gaps, marketing is a very big budget in sports. And we don't have that in Kenya, unfortunately. And these tournaments have not been hyped. So that's the reason why people are not attending these tournaments. I honestly feel for some people it's also the lack of faith in the people, in the institution that's running the game in the country. There's a lack of faith in the people who are in office. From an organization standpoint, you don't feel too comfortable about the guys who are running the game. So there's a bad vibe as we speak in just the whole rugby vibe, and that doesn't help the local game. So I feel that's one of the main reasons why people haven't gone for the 7th circuit. Would encourage guys to go, but again, we can't force you to go. You have your own reasons why you haven't gone.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm looking forward to next year, to be honest. And I'd love to see a lot more sort of noise around the tournament. Usually just before Safari Sevens, because we're going to have the Safari Sevens this year. You'd want to go for this so that you know who might be picked to go into the Shujar team, who might be dropped. You never know. I mean, that always happens. But this year you're just kind of like, we'll get to Safari Sevens.
No one really cares. It's like, and also, in all honesty, to add on to that, it's been diluted by the fact that also Sevens looks very disorganized. So there's just a lot of bad vibe, in all honesty.
Anyway,
they need to work to get back their local people.
Moving past bad vibes, we're now talking about the Simbas squad for the Repecharge, which will be in France. So a few, notable names were dropped. Isaac Adimo, fly half. Curtis Lilako, one of the props. Oscar Simiu, also one of the props. Edmund Anya, I think on the wing. And Eric Karen, who's a lock. Or flanker. Yes. So most notable call-up, I would say, is Elvis Namusasi from Mombasa RC. Very well done to him. Coming on as a natural fly half. Adding on to Biko Adema. I don't think we have any other. I mean, let's not call Darwin Mukidza a natural fly half. Like, let's just not. But we've also got Thomas Akidia coming back and Ephraim Odwar. So, okay. Well, I don't know. Curtis Lilako, I know he is injured. So we there's not much we can do about that. Wilson Kupondo also back. I think the squad is looking pretty solid. And I'd like to wish them the best of luck.
I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not really convinced with the guys. Wilson Kupondo, of course, yes. He's a good addition, stalwart of the game. Isaac Adimo, I hear it's because work commitments make it unable for him to train to the level that is required, and as such, people have caught up with him. But look, you call in somebody, and no disrespect to Elvin Namusasi, but you're a rookie. It's a repecharge. It's not the Gold Cup. It's a World Cup qualifying year. Darwin Mukidza, you want to go with Darwin Mukidza as your 10. Biko Adema hasn't played 10 for a very long time. There's just some questions I'm asking, and I'm sure very many people are asking questions. And the biggest thing that has cost us this year has been selection. And at number 10, you don't joke around.
No, you definitely don't. You have a 10 that's not functioning, your whole team is not functioning.
Your whole team.
Like, it's just not going to happen.
Yes, it's not going to happen. But as you say, good luck to the boys. Also, we must add, this is not the final squad. There will be happenings over the next 2 months.
And just before we wrap it up, we've got the Rugby Championship taking a break. So we had the first 2 weeks, where week 1 we had Australia versus New Zealand, 13-38 in favor of New Zealand. We had South Africa beating Argentina 34-21. Week 2 we had New Zealand beating Australia 40-12 and Argentina beating South Africa 32-19. And then preview of week 3, we've got New Zealand versus Argentina, then Australia hosting South Africa. And week 4 we've got New Zealand versus South Africa and Australia hosting Argentina.
So New Zealand on top of things, showing that they are class above the rest. Argentina have been really impressive despite the fact that they lost the first game. I think they put up a very good show in Mendoza in the second game. South Africa, to me, sort of a disappointment, because I expected the Rassie Erasmus era to produce kind of some solid performances on the back of what I saw in the autumn test last year. That hasn't happened, but we hope that going forward they'll be able to kick into gear. Australia just being Australia, and it's unfortunate. With the talent that they have, it's unfortunate that they're performing that way. But at the same time, they've come up against a very good All Blacks team in the first 2 weeks, and it's unfortunate for them. So you hope that in the next few games they can be able to put up a few points.
Yeah. Well, that's all we've got time for.
Yeah.
But for me, I love seeing people's comments, and when they, comment on our page and tell us what they think.
Yeah.
Especially on the 7th circuit, I really want people to tell us why they've not been attending.
Yes.
So you can find us on social media. That is by following us on Instagram, liking our page on Facebook, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. I'm Geneva Duffield.
And I'm Nara Kamuya.
That's it for part 2.